What's up, guys? This is Ben Saul back with another video. I know I promised I was going to make a video about the questions that you need to ask during the interview stage, but I thought about it. I got to get you in the door first, right? So, in one of my videos, I stated that I'm aware of what dispensaries are looking for in a potential employee, Budtender. I want to elaborate on that a little bit more so that you can figure out if you'd be a good fit for being a Budtender. Now, while some channels have made the suggestion of simply getting your foot in the door by, sweeping the parking lot or becoming the janitor, like the record label method, fucks that. What we tolerate is what we end up with. I'm happy to say that I have never had the title of Budtender. I've always been hired in as management. I'm not saying that I'm above being a Budtender or I haven't Budtended. I'm just saying that I've been fortunate enough to skip some steps to being part of the management team. I'm going to reiterate, Budtending is not like sitting at Dave's house on the PlayStation waiting for a knock on the door for somebody to come get a bag. Budtending takes a lot of patience. The only similarities to being at Dave's house and a dispensary is that marijuana sells itself. The Budtender is selling the experience, knowledge, and advice based upon the customer's needs. I also mentioned in my video that the cannabis industry has a high turnover rate. Due to its high turnover rate, Budtenders simply hop from dispensary to dispensary. Most dispensaries would rather hire a plug-and-play, someone with experience, rather than train someone with no experience organically, which in my opinion can sour the candidate pool because it doesn't allow much room for new candidates to get a chance. They just keep rotating the same shitty employees. Let's just say a Budtender who's been fired from several dispensaries for attendance. Then he or she goes to another dispensary. They're probably going to have the same attendance issues, most likely, ultimately blocking out people with no experience that would probably be more dependable. Think about it. How good is having experience if the person isn't reliable? This is why I'm making these videos, so I can help you prepare for this journey into the cannabis industry. If I didn't know any better, I'd say it was a great secret of trying to keep people from getting in. I actually told that to a cannabis advisor one day, and she laughed her ass off for about 5 minutes. Now, I suspect that she was kind of high. She probably came back from lunch and smoked one, but it was still funny. I'm going to share with you 10 qualities dispensaries are looking for in a potential Budtender. Number 1, this is all grouped together: passion, basic to mid-level cannabis knowledge, or black market experience. Besides consuming, what is it about cannabis that you love? As far as the black market, when I first started trying to enter into the industry, I left out my black market experience in fear of I was going to get into some kind of trouble. I don't know, paranoid. In reality, I didn't want to make another resume. Oh, by the way, make 2 resumes, one for the cannabis industry and one for the non-cannabis industry. I spoke with a cannabis advisor, and she told me that I should put all vital information that I believe is relevant. She told me how she got in the industry was she told the employer she counted her boyfriend's drug money and kept it organized, and that led her right in the door. Basic to mid-level knowledge. You must have basic to mid-level knowledge about cannabis, strain types, endocannabinoid system, cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids, differences between rosins, resins, and distillates, entourage effect, consumption methods, weights and measurements. That was number 1, that whole thing. Number 2, honest and integrity. You are dealing with a lot of money and customers who want genuine help. Dispensaries need not to worry about theft, dishonesty, and someone being disingenuous. Number 3, retail experience. Dispensaries don't have an extensive training program. Most dispos outsource HR, so you won't get some kind of extensive training regimen that'll get you ready to bud tend in a matter of time. A lot of your training will depend on how bad you want to learn and the questions you ask and the bud tender you are trained by. My advice is when you get in the door, find the best bud tender there is and stick with them like glue. Whole nother video. Number 4, patience. I have had customers that take up to an hour making a decision. Medical patients who want relief and need help finding it is going to take all the time they need, and you should be prepared for that. Number 5, outgoing. I had to greet people who didn't want me to serve them, but their need to be served versus waiting in line for another bud tender superseded whatever was going on with them. They were very short with me, didn't really want to answer questions or converse, but I didn't allow that to sour my mood or for me helping them get what they needed. Number 6, proactive. I got hired in the same time as another employee at one dispensary, and all he did was stand in the corner. Now by the second day I asked him, "Why are you standing in the corner?" His response, "I'm new and no one has showed me what I should be doing." And you thought standing in the corner would be better than proactively learning about the industry you just entered into? Come on, man. Number 7, you have to have accountability. Be careful in giving excuses instead of answers. Like the guy that I just asked the question, "Why are you standing in the corner?" That was an excuse. That wasn't an answer. Or, "Why were you late at least twice this week?" "Well, I live 40 minutes away and I have to drop off my kid at the babysitter." That's not an answer. That's an excuse. So my next question would be, why are you still leaving your house at the wrong time? Number 8, reliability. The number one issue in the cannabis industry, and I'm just speculating, but I'll put money on this, is attendance. I told the owner in my interview the only way I'm not showing up is if I'm dead, and I was dead serious. I've laid out a small roadmap to becoming a manager in a dispensary in one of my videos, and one of the qualities is just showing up. The industry has such a high turnover rate, you can easily become manager by default. Number 9, multitask. Customers sometimes shop in pairs or groups, couples, family members, and friends, and they may not want to take turns and want the bud tender to interact with all of them. Or you have a customer, but the receptionist is backed up and needs help checking in customers. Or the phone is ringing off the hook and the receptionist is busy, but you have a customer. A company, not just a dispensary, just a company in general, wants people who can step up and weather a storm when one comes. We all, of course, have specific jobs. But when one area of work suffers, it makes everyone's job harder. The ability to multitask is not only helpful for your fellow co-worker, it also helps you learn new tasks and responsibilities. Number 10, can you follow directions when given? This is being part of being proactive and part of being humble enough to follow directions. You may have a better idea how the task should be done, but my suggestion would be complete the task how it was asked of you, and then after the task is done, communicate your idea of how to make that task better. But follow the instructions first. Now, of course, you are biased about yourself, and you should be. But please be accountable. If you don't have any of these qualities, then you have some work to do. Not just for a dispensary job, but just in general. Dispensaries are million-dollar companies and will continue to grow. You can be a part of this growing industry if you have the right tools. I hope you use this list as motivation in finding the perfect fit for you and the company.